The common problem which is there in the Western world is adultery. It is fornication. And the glorious Quran says, in Surah Isra, chapter number 17, verse number 32, that come not close to adultery, for it is an evil opening roads to other evils. Adultery is an evil opening roads to other evils. That is the reason in Islam, marriage is compulsory. There is no monasticism in Islam. And our beloved Prophet Muhammad said, it's mentioned in Sahih Bukhari, volume number 7, in the book of Nikah, chapter number 3, hadith number 4, that, O young people, whoever has the means to get married should get married. And our beloved Prophet said that anyone who marries completes half his deen. Once during question and answer time, somebody asked me, that does it mean that if I marry twice, I complete my full deen? What did the Prophet mean by saying marriage completes half your deen? What he meant, that marriage prevents you from promiscuity, from homosexuality, from fornication, which are half the evils in the society. Only if you marry do you have an opportunity to be a husband or a wife. Only if you marry do you have an opportunity to be a father or a mother, which are very important duties in Islam. Therefore, the Quran says that marriage is a misakh, a sacred covenant, in Surah Nisa, chapter number 4, verse number 21. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Rum, chapter number 30, verse number 21, that amongst the signs He has made for you mates of like nature, so that you may dwell in them with tranquility, and He has put love and mercy between your hearts. Marriage is compulsory in Islam.
How come in Islam men can have 3 wives? Why don't they just sort of like stick just to one wife?
In the Quran, God gives the option for Muslim men at any one point of time, they can marry up to 4, but no more than that. What you need to understand is Islam did not introduce this polygamy. Islam restricted it. In the past, even within Arabia, people can have as many as they want and they can just get rid of them as easy as they want. But Islam restricted that practice and said, if you fear that you would not be able to deal with them justly, then marry only one. Why polygamy is an option? It has various functionalities and purpose that it can serve. It has served in the past and it's serving now and later, because sometimes men, because of their natural makeup, they want to have more than one wife. That's why you probably would see a lot of people in your eyes committing adultery every single day. Even though they're married, they're looking after other women, they're having affairs. Islam considers you have to make sure that you treat your wives fairly, otherwise you do not have the right to marry them. And this is a marriage. It's not an affair. It's actually a legal marriage like your first one. The Quran talks about if you want to look after the widows and the orphans. So that means it's actually also looking after, taking care of those women who don't have a husband. They may have had in that country a war, for example. Men naturally go and fight physically in the war and they get or martyred, and then you have a lot of women still. Islam doesn't want these women to be surplus women in the society in which they cannot fulfill their biological needs, because they are women after all, man and women sexual needs. So you should not put them into prostitution. You should not put them into this adulterous affair relationship. So the only way to get them back into the society where they can then be into a marital relationship with other men who are less than women. Do you follow? So this is one practical example where it has happened in the past, and anytime there's a war or something, it can be happening. But as I said, there are various reasons. You want to look after the widows and the orphans. You want to have your biological needs looked after. You can do that, but only if you fulfill the conditions. So that's why we can never say this is an adulterous relationship, because God has given us the allowance with conditions. So it's a marriage just like marriage one to one.